Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is The Singer from Dhol. It was written by Florian Hart and Anne Abeline. It's available in German from Pegasus Press, and it's part of a collection called Pearl Divers of Relief. Our game master is Pascal Breitenfeld, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Kent Blue as his character, Jarko Gausen. But before we begin, I would like to announce that we have a new patron. Lex Hurley has pledged $3 a month to our club. Thank you very much, Lex. That being said, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Kent?
Thanks, Tom. All right. The past few days have not been well for our family. We buried Mother and returned home to find our farm and house had been ransacked while we were away. And now, our dear sister has seemingly decided to end her own life by opening her wrists. For the life of me, I cannot find a reason for her to do that. I thought possibly the answer would be found in the blood-covered letter I found beneath her body, but it was just a letter from our mother to Hilric. While much of the letter was covered in Swanch's blood and thus unreadable, we could make out some nonsense about great gods, monsters, and curses. I dismissed the letters as the sick ravings of a dying woman. A further search of the room uncovered the bloody letter opener our sister used to end her life and a small medicine bottle filled with some unknown substance. I handed it over to Guka, but he was also unable to identify the liquid inside. We looked in the vase for the key to my mother's drawer, she indicated in the letter to Hilric, but found the key was already missing. As it were, we did not need the key, as we found mother's drawer was already unlocked and any contents held within already gone. As we sat there puzzled, Vibka ran into the room. That fool Red Elf was supposed to be keeping her away so she would be spared the sight of her dead mother until we cleaned her properly. Red Elf cannot even do the simplest task right. I'm sure the poor girl will now add the sight of her mother to her strange babblings and stories. As if he hadn't done enough, Red Elf chose this moment to tell the rest of us that he and Swancha were planning to run off together. Unbelievable. It was decided that we needed to fetch Father Markison so we could begin to lay Swancha to rest. Kuka set out for the old church to fetch the priest while Frauke and I went about cleaning the body. Vibka took the opportunity to sneak off again to one of her hiding places. Rodolph and I took to finding her, and the girl returned babbling on about being a doctor or some nonsense. I swear the way that girl looks at me sometimes makes me worry I'll awake one night to a knife in my belly as she cuts me open to see how I work. I rejoined my dear wife to help finish preparing our sister for the priest, but Guka returned and told us Father Markison was not at the church and his residence had also been vandalized. At this time, the wind had begun to pick up and the shutters in our mother's room came loose and began to slam against the house. We went to stop the racket and found Swanch's body had gone missing. What damned madness is happening on this island? With another storm on the horizon, Guka and I decided we need to make one last search for the missing Hilric. We made it to the bar and it was there that Guka confessed to me that he had murdered Hilric. It seems they had found the bucket of silver coins at the church and made a deal to split the money. But poor Hilric grew greedy and tried to take all the silver for himself. Guka found him and hit him with a shovel. My brother buried the poor man beneath the confessional in the very spot where they found the silver. He worries his actions have brought down a curse upon our family. With my brother having returned to the house, I set out for the church to verify his story. I'd love to say it was so I could make sure the body is secure to keep my brother's secret. No, Guka thinks he could trust me with a secret, but all he did was arm me with a wedge. I will use to drive between him and the rest of the family, between him and Frauke. Braving the most violent winds, I arrived at the church and uncovered exactly what Guka told me I would. Hilric, the poor bastard, seems not to have been dead when my brother dumped his body into the hole and covered him up. In his madness, the poor man had driven his fingers so far into his ears, even I could not remove them. And there, on the ground by him, a goddamn flute. But this one was not like our father's simple wooden flutes. This one was made of porcelain. I climbed from the hole with the stack of burnt papers just as Frauke, Red Elf, and Vibka arrived. I handed over the papers for everyone to read and informed Vibka that she had also lost her father. The papers were full of more nonsense, but it does seem to indicate there is something hidden behind the fireplace of Father Markison's residence. We're going to investigate, but first I had to inform Frauke of what really happened to poor Hilric. Her response was exactly what I hoped for. Now, as we inspect the fireplace, I cannot help but think of Guka and his fear of curses. While I do not believe he has cursed us in our actions, I do feel had the bullet found his damned head instead of his knee, we would not be in this mess.
Hey, excellent.
I'm back at the farmhouse and my ears are burning really badly.
I mean, you joined us. You joined us back at the church, but damn,
Well,
I never thought.
As I remember, most of the family is in the house of the priest. You just found that secret opening in the fireplace, but it wouldn't open all the way. And Göke just checked in the church and found the open hidey hole. So, just quickly, what are you going to do next, Göke?
I think now I didn't see them going into the priest's house.
Yes. Right? You saw them. You saw the last of them go into the house before you went into the church.
I'm going to go over to where the confessional is, and I see that he's dug it up.
Yeah.
And I think that something I did has caused this. So I'm going to look down in there and maybe try to climb down. And if there's Hilrich's body, it's still there? I said, we guys didn't pull it out, right? No. I'm sorry, Hilrich. I'm sorry. If you could do something to alleviate this curse that's fallen upon us. Did they grab the flute?
I think so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we definitely got it out. We got it out of the hole.
I believe Jocko is currently in possession of the flute.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to.
I think I have it.
You have it. Okay.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Because
but I do see
yard long, so yeah.
I do see that there's tunnels. He's kind of in a tunnel, isn't he?
Oh, well, not really a tunnel. It's like a very small hidey hole under the floor.
I see.
At least you can't see it going off anywhere.
Okay. Then I'm going to climb out, and then I'll go join them.
Okay, so you climb up. The rest of you are crouched before this this fireplace. And it's like open,
yeah,
like 1 or 2 inches, and there's something. Okay. There seems to be something behind it. Doesn't open really open.
So this 1 or 2 inches open, would that be wide enough for a little girl's hand to perhaps pass through and reach around?
The hand, yeah.
I would like to just like stick it right in, just try and flail it around, try and see if I can feel anything perhaps on the back of the blockage, or side, whatever. Like, I feel like some kind of like release or just something that's blocking it from opening further.
You feel around, you don't feel a release or anything. But when you feel towards the floor, there seems to be something behind it, like cloth or something soft.
Can I grab it and pull it out?
Well, you grab, but you can't really pull it. You can pull, but you can't move it.
Okay. So am I able to just like put my eyes up against the gap and look into the darkness?
Yeah, you put your eyes against the gap, and what you see is like it's a very small room, and there's to the left there seems to be a hole in the ground, and there's some paper lying on the floor, and you can see what looks like a stool or a table leg sticking out from the right side.
So what do you see?
It's a gnome's house, very small. Lots of paperwork.
What? A gnome's house.
A gnome's house. Very small room.
Okay.
Small hole in the side. Paperwork. I felt some cloth.
Can you grab any of the paperwork?
Too far, I think.
Well, you can
maybe
reach
break the wall.
you can get one of the pieces of paper.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Pull
reach
out.
as far in as I can, pull out whatever I can. So,
Seems to
grab a piece of
be
paper.
a page from the Bible, and it's ripped.
A gnome was writing a sermon. Perhaps,
What are you
perhaps
talking?
What does it
we
say?
can enter this room some more. It's the Bible.
Let me get in there and try to push it open. No, let's get down in there and
Push against it. Do a strength
Yeah.
check.
Okay. Pretty strong fella. That's a 32 out of 70. That is a hard success.
Okay, so you put your shoulder to this secret door and just start pushing, and you can feel it moving, and then the resistance at one point gets harder. It's like now the opening is maybe a foot broad. Might be a little tight for an adult to go through, but it's possible for Vipke. But you think you could shoulder it open even more?
See if you can wiggle in there and move whatever's blocking the door while I give it another push.
Okay, I'm gonna crawl in and immediately go look at the hole in the side of the room.
Yeah,
Careful.
you go to she goes off to the left side. The hole seems to go down like maybe 6 feet. And there's an old ladder. The whole room is made of brick, and the underneath there seems to be a tunnel going off, which is brick lined as well.
Excellent. I'd like to grab the other piece of paper and then look at the stake on the side.
Yeah, you turn around, and what you basically see is a very small room, like a monk's cell. There are papers and torn apart books on the floor.
Yep.
And behind an overturned table and a little stool, and right in front of that there is the body of a man who's now wedged in between the turned over table and the secret door, and there's blood everywhere. And you can do a sanity check.
I found our gnome.
The body's
That
blocking,
is a failure.
A failure. So that is 1d3 for you.
1d3. There's a 1.
A 1. Okay. You give a shriek, but otherwise,
What?
Well, not the body.
Vipke, what's
Not
going
the
on
first
down
one.
there?
I found our gnome. He's very wet. Is the blood dried?
It's all very damp here, and well, most of the blood is dried, but there's some that's sticky and gooey.
Randolph's gonna help Jarko push.
Yeah. We
So you both
Our gnome is very sticky.
make sure you're out of the way back there. Shoulder up against the door.
you shoulder against it, and together you push even farther, and you hear like a crunching. So you get the door open a little more, so you could an adult will be able to get in there.
Jarko, you go in. I need a bit to get to something.
Okay, and I'll
Just
go
move
on
the
through.
blockage.
You go through, and the first thing you notice is it's completely dark in here. It's like just the light from the others provide from behind you, and you can see like only outlines. There is something behind the door, but you can't really tell what it is.
I can't remember if we had candles or torches.
You
We
had
brought
lamps.
lanterns. We brought
We had
You got lanterns.
All right, I'll kind of pop back out. Like somebody hand me one of those lanterns.
Here.
Thanks, dear. And I'll go back in with the lantern and look down at that outline on the floor.
Yeah, well, what you see is the body of the father of the old church.
My God, it's
Father Marcuson.
It's Father Marcuson.
He's covered in blood. There are pieces of skin hanging loose from his face. His clothes are torn to shreds. And you can do another sanity roll as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Been ravaged and beyond compare.
That's a 13, which is a success.
Okay, then 0. You've been in the war.
I've been in there.
Brutal corpses, and there's all over the room. There are papers on the floor. Most are like covered with blood and mud, and the ripped up books.
It's Father Marcus, and something's tried to tear him apart. I mean, he's dead, but just
Wait, how did they get in there?
I kind of shine around. I was like, I don't really see any. I mean, I see papers strewn everywhere. Everything's there's blood.
When you look at the other side of the
Uncle
room,
Jocko,
you see
like
this hole in the floor and the ladder that is leading down.
Look, it's a gnome hole.
And I'll kind of walk over. It's like there's a hole in here. A ladder. I don't know if whatever did this to him went down it. But avert your eyes when you come in. I'll try to keep the light away from his body. It's
I know it's
not
morbid, but could you? I know it's morbid to ask, but could you move the father's body so we could open the door?
Yeah, I mean, I fit through, but I'll hold on one second. Set the lamp.
And while you're doing that, I guess the papers you got from the church you put somewhere in the bedroom on the bed or something.
Yeah, we probably laid them down in there.
So as the rest of you is waiting for Tiago to open the door, you hear steps behind you, and you see that Guke has come into the room. And he's
reading.
Yeah, he takes the papers, and by the lamplight, it's pretty dark by now. So you need the lamp in the room.
Okay. I can see what I can see, and then. You have the lantern, so you can.
I think we had 2, so yeah.
Yeah. You said it took more than one.
What do you? I thought you said
Yeah,
you'd stay.
You open up. You get the door opened.
Yeah, I guess I've pulled the body out of the way so the door can fully open up.
So this cloth that I could feel through the door, what is that? Is that his clothing or?
That was the closing of the.
Okay.
The
so is there a bed sheet?
Pants.
Okay. So is there like a bed sheet somewhere nearby?
Yeah, in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What I would like to do is take that bed sheet, tie it around myself, and then hand it to an adult as I go down the ladder into the tunnel.
What? We're sending Vibke now down gopher holes now?
Hold on. Wait, don't climb down that ladder. Hold on a minute. Can't send.
Jacko, when you.
It's perfectly safe.
when you pulled the priest from this niche, so the door could be opened, you found there's something sticking out from his jacket, a piece of paper.
Okay.
Looks like a couple of pages ripped from a notebook.
Yeah, I'll grab those. Okay, reading out loud. The order assembled to close the way to Dhol forever. The events of that night in the Abbey should never be repeated. The Guardian's order originates in Britain. The 12th Grandmaster sent out the Brethren to regain the key. One of the Buccaneers turned flautist and pointed the way for the singer from Dhol before he was slain by his fellows. And every night the singer came to the island, calling upon those that were his in the dark. The Teutonic Knights order was not able to stop the eaters of humans. Many of the brethren gave their life to fight the spawn of evil, for nothing will stop the idolaters when they are called by the singer. They come rushing from afar when the singing calls them to their bloody feast. Put up a stone circle. Beware if the children of the goal should ever rise again. Brother Clark found the key, but didn't hand it over to the order. Quote, I hid it where redemption and secretive silence are to be found. Some of the Ghoul's wicked children managed to flee to their homeland in those days of terror. Others remained hidden and had no power without the call. The sacrilegious monk is said to have fled to a land, Dhol. His books of blasphemous incantations has not been seen since that day.
What is going on here?
You tell us.
I thought
You know,
I thought
we know as much as you do.
I don't know anything about
Did Mother
this.
write about this?
Apparently,
where did you find these papers?
We found them with Hilric.
yeah, some with Hilric and some with the priest.
Why did you dig him up?
Why was he there?
They needed to know, brother.
You didn't need to know.
This family deserved to know the truth about what you did.
Bah. Betrayed me.
You're the one who feels like you brought a curse down on us. And so everyone needs to know if this curse is real, where it started.
Okay, you did this?
I told you it was an accident.
I don't think he started it. I think it's something correlated.
An accident.
You buried him alive.
You buried a man alive on accident.
Why do you think I buried him alive?
Because his fingers were so far in his ears, I could not pull them out.
But he was trying not to hear something.
Don't
You
know
didn't-
what
you-
you're talking about.
You didn't even finish what you started.
Ever sloppy.
Jarko, what have you told them?
I told them what you told me in the barn, that you and Hilric found the silver. And
Technically,
That he was stealing the silver and I hit him with the shovel. I didn't mean to kill him.
he didn't
you
even tell
murdered
us.
him.
Papa?
He didn't even tell us until just now. He just showed us. I mean, he showed us that Hilric, his body with his ears and his fingers in his ears.
He was not. He could not have gotten out or done anything.
Yeah, I have a question.
Men and their money.
Was there a giant flute when he dug up the silver the first time?
I didn't see anything like that. I didn't see any papers either, or no, he was just, we weren't even in the hole when I hit him.
You murdered him.
He obviously
was an
wasn't dead when
accident.
Doka hit him. Considering what you're telling me, and I don't think you have any reason to lie, I'm going to trust you on this. Because I feel like
You
no
hit
one else-
him.
It didn't look like it killed him, considering that he covered his ears.
No, the burying alive is what finally killed him.
Problem is, he wasn't buried in that hole. He was in a hole inside the. It was in an alcove under the hole. It wasn't.
He was
buried.
dumped in that hole and it was closed back up on top of him. That's as much burying as throwing shovels of dirt on him.
There's obviously open space in that hole. I think you're forgetting that. You dug it out. His body was completely not covered. It was just in a weird hole inside. The
I had to pry up the floor and everything to get to the body. It wasn't open when I got here.
Let's look at the pain you've caused them all now. And I'm going to start walking out.
The pain I caused them all, brother.
The pain you caused. The pain you caused.
As you turn around, you see, you can look out of the window, and you see the shine of lamps in the distance coming towards the church.
Who's this now?
Quite some way off, but it's definitely moving in your direction.
Are they coming from the direction of our homestead, or are they coming from another direction?
They are coming from the south, so from the direction of your farm.
Well, I'm going to leave them there, and I won't go direct. I won't go towards the lights. I'm going to try to skirt around so that the lights go past me, and I'm going ultimately back to. So I'm doing a round way.
Can I say something real quick before he goes? Okay. Whenever he says, whenever Guga said that he was leaving and what I've done, I yell, what I've done as you're walking away, I yell, what I've done. This is what you've done. And I kind of first I was like, God, I wish I'd shot you in your blasted head instead of your knee.
You should have left me there to die then.
I should have had a better shot.
Should have. That I can agree with.
Terrible people.
You shot me.
I shot you. You were marrying Frauke, who didn't even love you. She's loved me since we were children, and you were stealing her from me. And I couldn't let that happen.
Then you're both murderers. And I turned around.
Says the murderer.
So
there's something going on. Why do all of you enough? All of you, shut up. Listen. There is something beyond us happening right now, and we shouldn't all be squabbling. There's something happening in this fucking church.
As you, when Chiako said that, you turn around towards the window, and you see those lamp lights as well.
Oh, who's this then?
Do I think that I can avoid them?
Well, the house has two doors. You could. The one you entered through was the one in the south, where the lamps are coming from. The one in the north, which should lead to the small garden of the priest.
All right, I'm going to try to avoid them,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm leaving. I'm not listening to them. They're a bunch of Judases.
So you walk to the back door. What is the rest doing?
So I want to pull on Uncle Jocko's sleeve and say,
what is it? What is it, girl?
Sometimes keys are not key shaped. And then
Okay.
I'll try and gesture for the flute.
And then you slowly hear voices and noise from the outside. Those lamps are drawing closer, and there Vipke, you can make out that it's quite a big group of people, at least 30, and they have a horse cart with them, and
The gnome family
carrying.
have come for us.
They're carrying shovels and torches.
Is that a mob?
We must make haste immediately.
Good guess. You get out of the house on the north side, and there's a small vegetable garden and a hedge around it. So, where you go?
Well, if it's dark,
Yeah. and the wind has gone pretty bad.
I'm
And
going
you hear
to
this piping. It's like a howling piping.
I'm at the moment I'm in fear for my life a bit. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to go from, hedgerow to bush to tree to whatever and work my way around. So if the crowd's coming towards the church, they'll get to the church, but I'll have gone around, and then I'm heading back to the farm to get the stuff that I buried.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
I'll try to
when
do that.
you basically go to the bushes on the north side of the garden, and you can hear voices from behind the house, noise. But as you go through the bushes, there's a small gate. You can see in the distance there are more lights coming from the north.
The north as well. Shit.
So what's the rest doing?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think Randall's been a bit aggravated right now. Also, I feel like that entire conversation, no one gave a fuck what he was saying, even though he was yelling that, like, stop fucking yelling at each other. There's something fucking going on. Something killed Hilric. It wasn't Goka. It was obviously he was still alive because he put his fingers in his own goddamn ears and he was holding a fucking flute. A huge one at that. And there's all these papers about everything. There's something going on here, and we need to stop bullshitting that and actually do something.
Would all of you do an idea roll? The ones in the house.
I surprisingly got an 11, so that was a
Success.
that was a.
As you said, do something.
Extreme.
Your
I have no
eyes
3. That's
fall
an extreme
onto-
as well. So
fall onto the lantern.
You can extinguish the lantern to make them think we're not here.
oh yeah, guys,
So we
hide from the mob.
Yeah, I guess turn lanterns off and we'll try to sneak out of here and head back to the
So,
farm. I don't know.
we can shut ourselves in that secret room and wait for them to leave.
They might be thinking we're the problem.
So, Jocko, did you give me the flute when I asked for it, or are you still holding on to it?
Might have dropped on the bed or something.
I probably would have handed it to you just to, adults are talking,
Excellent.
So,
I'm going to
lanterns-
peace out into the tunnel.
Oh,
Huh?
fuck.
You do what?
I'm going to peace out straight into the tunnel.
Okay. I guess we're not gonna take.
All
Ah, fuck.
right,
Fine.
lanterns are off. Jarko, close the door. Well, we can hide here or try to get Vipkid, but I guess just we'll have to hide in here.
We're also
Or
gonna take
go
the
down
deep
there.
breaths and look at how cramped does that tunnel look?
Cramped.
He's gonna take some deep breaths.
So I'm gonna.
All right.
So all of you go
shutting
into-
the door.
So you are all in the secret room?
Yes.
Yes, and we're shutting the door first.
Okay. So as you shut the door, it's completely pitch black. So I guess you...
I mean, I guess we
turn
didn't turn
off.
the lanterns off because we
Yeah.
put it in the room because I don't think there's windows in this room.
There's
It
no
would still shine
window,
through the
nothing.
cracks.
I'll just light a match. I'll just light a match so we can see the hole.
Well, as you close, there's no light from outside or anything. So it looks like
Okay.
there shouldn't. It should be possible to light the lantern again.
Do that. I have to go after Wibka.
Yeah, we'll light the lantern back up if we feel safe to do so.
And it's-
Dumb kid. All right.
I'm not
It's
going to
obvious
go
that
like
both of you
quite
don't care. about
terribly
the
far
fire.
into the tunnel. I've just climbed down the ladder. I'm surveying. I'm
Okay.
not like completely pieced out. I'm just down the ladder
I'm like, Vipka,
surveying.
how far did you go in?
The bottom of the hole. There's
Simply
safe
to
light.
the bottom. The darkest tunnels need the fewest of light. And I will survey my surroundings.
What
Well,
poetry book are you
the tunnel
reading?
goes up for quite a bit, and you see that that there's the first part is dry, but then it dips a little bit, and there's like some water on the floor, and it's You can go bend over, but the dolls will have basically have to crawl.
All right.
This gnome tunnel is built for infant gnomes. You must crawl like the soldiers.
Did Frauke follow?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did as
then
well, but
follow.
I think it's just Ralph's just kind of paused at like how the hole gets even more tiny. It's like, okay.
So
Like sounds like this is all we have of the family, so we might as well protect it.
fire is a great fire gives gifts but takes from us air.
Oh.
And in cramped space, spooky.
Actually, I would know this.
I
used to be in a submarine, or I used to be on a U-boat. You don't want open fires. Unfortunately, we can't.
What I propose is that I have a belt or something tied around me that the person behind me can hold on to.
Okay.
And I will lead the way through the tunnel.
I'm probably in the back.
I'll be.
Yeah,
in the
you can
front and
be.
I'll in the middle. So.
You can be our anchor, Jericho. And I'll look to Ralph. I'm like, with all due respect, your condition didn't take any of your strength, did it?
No.
All right. As long as you're confident, I'll stay in the middle.
I'm just push me if I stop moving. I might.
Okay.
Hey, if I casually die in the tunnel, just push me. It's fine.
No, I not that I meant. I meant as in like.
So you'll start off into the tunnel. Let's go to Gurka for a moment. Gurka, you.
I've changed my mind. I'm heading straight towards the crowd.
Yeah, you see them approaching you,
and I'm acting like I have been beaten. I'm injured. I'm obviously with Kane anyway. And as soon as they're within shouting distance, I yell, "Stop them! They've murdered my friend. They've murdered the priest. They've murdered my sister."
And it's another pretty big group. They're like, again, 20 people maybe, and they all got shovels and pickaxes and torches like proper mob has to.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach them, the first of them, rather burly big man, he's a farmer from up north on the island.
Right.
He looks at you and he looks at your leg. "He's one of the Gaussen bunch. Get him!" And three of the younger guys run towards you, and one tries to grab you.
No, I'm a war hero. They're the murderers. And I fall down on the ground, probably for the last.
So let yourself fall. And the first one who reads you actually gives you a good kick into your side.
Well, then I'm going to try and fight.
You want to dodge or fight back?
I'm going to try to fight. I can take a kick.
Okay.
Oh boy, I got a 75. Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, here 30. That's
swinging wildly.
Success. And that is 4. So he gives you a good kick in the side, and you take 6 points of damage.
What is wrong with you? You sons of bitches. I'll kill you all.
Is that a serious wound?
Oh, no. I've got 15 points of.
Okay.
So now I've got 9.
And the second one holds is holding the pickaxe over you. You shut up! If you move, you're dead.
Fuck you. And I'm just going to try to hit him with the sharp end of my cane.
Okay, so you...
Oh, 98.
So, back.
Oh,
But he's doing a maneuver, and you swing your club, and instead of hitting down with the X part, he just stomps with the handle of the pickaxe against your head, and your lights turn off.
Okay.
All goes black. So let's get back to the other ones.
And the people in the audience go, yes.
I on my personal scale, it's like, no, I actually feel like we could. Maybe I'm weird, but I think we could also have like at least worried about the weird magical thing happening right now, because it seems like it's all charmed everyone on the island or something. But I don't know.
Yeah, Vipke, you lead on, and the tunnel gets pretty low, and after a few yards, the water is like a foot high, and it's very cold water, and it's dirty there. It's really strange. And, Red Elf, you don't feel well.
No, this is. I'm trying to hold back any form of panic attack.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're doing. Do a sanity roll.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Let's see if you get a panic attack.
He was preparing himself for this the whole time, so let's try. We'll see how this goes. That's a 32. I'm okay. 32 out of 47.
Red Elf is very pale and very silent.
Still breathing.
Not his usual self. But you walk on. The tunnel goes for some meters, and then you feel a draft of cold air, and you hear the wind is getting worse, and you hear this strange piping, and you think you hear voices, you hear shouting. You should be like, from distance, you made like maybe somewhere next to the church or at the church height.
And you can the old church or the new church?
It's all the old church. Of the tower is next to the church. It's called the old church. Mm-hmm. The new church is in Tilly. That's like in the middle of the island.
What do you see?
And you see that the side of this tunnel seems to be caved in.
Okay. Can I tune my ear to possibly listen to what they're saying or shouting or whatever?
Yeah, do a listen.
That is 26. That is a hard success.
A hard success. Okay. You can. The wind is pretty hard, and it's not easy to identify voices and stuff. But you hear something along the way, the lines of, "Get him to the tower. Cornelison will tell us what to do with him." You know that Cornelison is the name of the priest of the new church, the other priest on the island.
They're taking someone into the tower. Now, what do we physically have on us currently? So I still have the draw key and the flute. Do any of you three have anything else, or
I have a lighter, and I
a
think
lighter?
I have a pocket knife.
Pocket knife. Okay.
I think someone took the pickaxe last time. I don't know if you left it.
I used it, but I don't think that would have brought it with me.
Would it fit in the tunnel? I kept something with me.
So you left
Good.
that basically in the
You
priest's
have it to your
house.
back, but
A dog
Okay.
whistle.
I could have brought something.
So- How caved in is caved in? Like, is it?
Well, so the side is a little bit caved in. There are bricks on the wall, on the floor. You can just go further on, but there seems to be an opening to the right side.
Okay.
Like you might be able to climb out of the tunnel here. There's a little bit of water trickling down. Seems
Could
to be
digging
raining
into the tunnel.
outside.
That would be bad. Okay. We need to be quiet. The gnomes might be digging into the tunnel. They're taking somebody to the tower. We can press on, and then I'm gonna continue along.
And and you continue the tunnel, or does anyone?
Yes, I'm going to continue along further into the tunnel.
Okay. And the rest?
Everyone following Wibka.
Yeah.
I feel like
Just to clarify your description, when you say cave it, you don't mean blockage. You just mean as in
No,
there's an opening to the right.
blockage.
Yeah.
It's like the brickwork is falling into the tunnel, and the seems to be a hole sloping up, basically to the surface.
Right. So rather, there's another tunnel, but this one still is at least somewhat structurally integral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would there be like light coming in from this sloped wall, or no?
A little bit, like
little bit,
it's already night outside, but a little bit of light will come in.
Okay. Carrying on, going towards the tower. Assumedly.
But as long as everybody's moving, I'm moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just following Wibka.
So the tunnel continues on for a little longer, makes a bend then, and it ends in some rubble, but you can see light coming through the stones, and you think you could move some of the stones.
Enough space for us to not be crawling. Is enough space for us to not be crawling so we can move the stuff?
Yeah, you could like push one of the bigger stones away, and there seems to be an opening behind that, and that's like sloping up. So basically, it should be on the ground level if you push that stone away.
Okay. I'm gonna try and change position with the person behind me in order to facilitate them going forwards.
All right, let's do this.
But follow the light and push. And then yes, I'm now second in line.
All right, I'll be front, I guess, and I push.
Okay, do a strength check.
That's a 12, so that's an extreme success.
Okay, so you push upwards and you get this big piece of stone turned over, and there is a small opening you can climb out, and looks like you're inside the old tower. You've been here as a kid. Like you used to climb inside this tower, but you never found this opening.
How deep in the tower are we? Like below ground level, or
Like on the ground level.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll just take my surroundings and from the tower. What else is there?
Well, basically it's only the old tower walls. Most of it has caved in. You can look upwards. There are couple of window openings of the old tower, and the what used to be the top level of the tower is still intact. So there would be like a platform up there. And as kids, you and Göke, you climbed through the inside of the tower, climbed up and hid in the in those window alcoves. And sometimes you climbed to the very top, but then you had to get out of the window and climb the last part on the outside.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
Case,
and there's
I don't think that's important right now, but
Hmm?
I don't think that's important right now. But maybe if you keep saying it, but maybe. I guess I'll just get out so everyone can get back in so they start crawling because you didn't describe if there was open space yet.
Okay, say again.
I'm going to get out of the spot so everyone can get into the base of the tunnel,
okay.
because you haven't
Yeah,
described if there's open space in the tunnel for people to
Yeah, there's the tower is like what is it, like 30 by 30 feet.
All right, so I'll just get out so everyone can get in so they're not crawling in the water.
Okay, so you all can crawl out of the tower. There is an opening to towards the church building. It's like you would have to crawl through a small hole to the outside, but you can get out of the tower from here. And you hear commotion from outside. You hear voices, and you hear the sound of people digging and shouting. And you all hear the voice of that widow who's having the widow Barmsen, who has the shop. It's like, here's another one. Dig here.
I just whisper, it's like, what are they doing? I'm just not gonna wait, but like, Randolph's whispering. What do you think they're doing?
The gnomes, they're digging into the tower. We must barricade.
And all this while, this wind is like, it must be doing something through the windows up in the tower, because you all hear this howling, piping, this strange noise.
What was that noise?
And then you all hear a voice. The voice of that constable. It's one of them. Maybe we can use his blood. Is he dead? And you hear another voice. No, he seems to be coming around.
We're in trouble.
They got that oaf.
We are
Gotta go help him.
Trouble. Oh dear.
No, we gotta get out of here. He literally is gonna abandon us after murdering Heinrich.
It's obvious that these people did.
You help him if you want, Red Elf.
And Göke, as you slowly wake up, your head is hurting, and you look around. You see torch and lamplight all around you. There is a whole bunch of people. You see the constable standing over you, and you hear something like his blood. And then you see the father of the new church, Father Cornelsen, and he's pushing. That's Swantje. He's pushing Swantje in front of him. She got her hands tied in front of her, and he's leading her towards the east side of the west side of the tower.
Eating her or her body?
No, she's walking.
Sanity check, or
Well, you can't see this. It's just me can see it.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's just good.
But still, we did see her dead. So
It's my sister. Was killed.
You shut up. I'll gag you, the constable. And she, in that moment, Swansha looks at you and she's terrified. She's like, her face is pure panic. And then the priest pushes her around the corner of the tower. And she's out of sight.
Who are you? Why are you doing this? You've always hated us, Constable.
What are the others doing?
What's the layout of this tower? Because what are the exit and entry points?
On the ground floor, the only entry point is like a small hole in the tower wall between the old church tower and the church building. And there's like a gap of maybe 4 feet between the two. And there's brushwork there, so you could crawl out there, or you climb up and you could exit through the one of the upper story windows, but then you'd be like 30 or 60 feet up in the air.
Okay.
Does it look like we could sort of sneak out and make our way to the woods from the hole in the ground floor wall? Or?
Well, wait, you hear commotion from everywhere.
Okay.
It's hard to say, because you would, if you crawl out of the hole, you're basically in between the church building and the tower. But from what it sounds like, there are people on both sides of the church.
And the only tunnel out of here leads back the way we came?
That is the one you know of. Well, now you know.
There is that like midpoint that you could abscond from if they're too busy with the tower.
That's a good idea.
I would like to climb up to the level that's still intact.
So the only level that's still intact is the very top. So you would have to climb to like 2/3 of the tower, exit through the window and climb the outside.
Mm-hmm. Is there a ladder of some description nearby? No. Okay.
But it's pretty jagged stones. Looks like can be climbed.
I think I have the climbability to make it. The question is whether or not me falling and dying will break the porcelain flute in my inventory.
Well, it's pretty, if you keep the flute, it's like a yard long. How do you secure it?
Actually,
while climbing.
What do you have in mind? What is your plan?
Could use the belt that is around my waist to fasten it to my back and then climb up. Mm-hmm. I believe that is what I would like to do.
Could I help her climb, or could I just hold the flute?
Well, you know basically how where the best spots to climb up are.
Yeah, which is like I'm trying to ask her I'm trying to ask what are you trying to do?
Right enough. I'm climbing to the top floor.
Okay, I know how to do this. Follow me. Just hold on to my leg. Or does it?
So the both of you are climbing up. What are Charco and Frauke doing?
I think I'm staying close to the opening into the bushes, kind of just listening on everything that's happening outside, listening for them to move away or something so we can hopefully eventually sneak out of here without, climbing. That took a, nasty bite to the knee earlier. I'm not overly interested in climbing.
Yeah, it's the same. I guess I might help Red off from where I'm at and then go to, stay with Jarko.
So the both of you crawl out of the tower into the brushwork. Do stealth.
Okay.
47 and 55
with advantage because there's pretty much wind.
Oh, okay, that's a 7 then. So that's an extreme.
I got a 16 on my first roll, which is a hard success.
So both of you just hide between in the bushes. Gurka, you feel that your hands are tied behind your back. I didn't mention that earlier. But you're getting clearer in your head. And you see that what they're digging up, and Tiago and Frauke can see that as well, that there are people at several places digging up what looks like boulders, like big stones that were under the ground. And you see that people are positioning themselves between the stones. They're like small groups in between the stones, and they have like little black books. It is hard to hear what they are saying. They're like singing or praying. You see their lips move, but the wind is so hard you can hardly understand what they are singing. And that burly guy who you met first, he's grabbing you at the scruff of the neck and like, get up, you. And the widow comes towards them. The father said when he starts the ritual, we'll have to offer blood to the stones. I think we can take it. It's best if we take his blood.
I want to say over my dead body, but
Might as well ask what the fuck is going on.
And Tiago and Frauke, you can basically hear that because they're pretty close to you where you're hiding. And as you look around, the widow is suddenly looking up towards the top of the tower, and her eyes are getting big. She's like, "Oh my God, we're running out of time."
I should say I'm probably screaming suddenly obscenities at them, and if anybody's near me, I'm going to spit in their face.
Yeah,
I'm not going out easy.
you can choose the big guy or the widow.
Come here. I want to tell you something. Right.
Lean over to Frauke and just whisper,
And look,
be ready to go. Be ready to run.
Points up to the top of the tower. And the big guy looks up as well. He was just he was near to hitting you after you spit in his face, and he looks up and his eyes go wide.
I'm gonna look up.
So what you see is at the top of the tower, like right next to the top, it looks like there is a rift in the sky. It's all black, it's cloudy, you don't see any stars, and there's just something like the sky opening up. Like there's light shining through like a tear in the night sky, and you see two shadows up there on the tower top, two figures. One is more small and diminutive, could be Swantje, and the other one is standing there and seems to have something in his hands. And this howling, this piping is getting worse.
Is it a musical sort of piping? Do I recognize
it sounds kind of musical. You don't recognize it really, but it's like
Father used to make us practice the flute, and there were probably
it's not a song you can say that it's a song or a tune, but it somehow seems so familiar. And it definitely is musical.
Did the brute pull me up onto my feet, or
Yeah.
did he let me go and then I fell over? I'm up on my feet.
You're back on your feet.
I'm going to look for the opportunity to hurt someone, but not where I think that I'm just going to trip and fall and get hurt myself. Like if he's looking up and he's not looking at me, I'm going to smash into him as hard as I can. I probably can't run because my gimpy foot.
Do a fighting brawl.
31 out of 65. That is a hard.
And he's definitely surprised. So do damage, just fighting brawl damage.
Which is 1d3 plus damage. Ooh, I've got damage. Plus 1d4. 6 points of damage.
Ooh.
I hit him with all my weight.
You basically shoulder into him, and he keels over, and you hear his head hitting the ground.
Okay, and I'm going to try then and hobble away, but I know there's other people around.
Yeah. So let's jump to Vipka and Red Elf for a moment. You try to climb up the tower. Do a climb, but as Red Elf is showing you, knowing the way and showing to Vipka, you get a bonus die.
Okay.
I got an 01.
Okay.
Can I use that
12.
So that was my first roll. So it's like I think I don't need to roll for bonus die.
You know, can't get better.
I think
it's exactly an extreme success for me.
You remember perfectly every handhold you and you as a kid with Gurka together took, and in no time you're at the upper one of the tower windows, and when it's like very the window or the wall here is very thick. It's an old stone church wall, so you can just sit in there. And you look down and you see basically the same that Göke saw from the ground. The islanders have dug up, or are in the process of digging up, several big stones. And from up here, you see they form like a circle around the tower. And there are a whole bunch of islanders with small black books standing around and grouping in between those stones. And they're like looking down into the books. It looks like they're singing, but you really can't hear what they are singing or saying from here. And what you notice is there's a rope ladder next to the window that is hanging down from the top of the tower. And as you look up, you see this strange rift or tear in the night sky right at the top of the tower.
Okay.
I was like whispering this to her. It's like, Vipka, do you think these people are that note from like the priest had was something about like an evil order with forbidden books and like song? Do you think this is that?
They dug a hole in the sky.
You said do you think this is the key? And it's like holding the part of the porcelain flute. Do you think it had something to do with this?
Keys are not always key-shaped.
Right.
I think this is our only chance to save our family. So, How sketched does this rope by the look? Like, does it look mangled and rotten?
No.
It...
It looks actually
Put it on.
It looks quite new.
Okay, that's concerning.
They can put it on.
So, am I able to reach it with my little girl arms, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can.
I would like to climb up to the top. Let's go.
Okay.
I have a weird feeling that I might need to play the flute to see if it closes the rifts, but that might not be what's happening. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Redup, you're following or you're leading or
I'm trying to. I'm at least there with her because I'm not gonna let her be alone in this thing, this whole situation.
so you let her climb up first.
Yeah, I'm making sure that if she falls, I'm like able to brace her.
Okay, so let's go to Charco and Frauke. You, from your hiding point, you can you basically watch what happened between Goeke and that big guy, and you see him just knocking the big guy to the ground. And you see a couple of islanders rushing towards the scuffle. So what are the three of you doing? He tries to hobble away.
Do I see an opening to run?
You might be able to use the commotion to get away.
That's what I was just thinking. Like if he's making a hobble for it, could we do something where we time it so when everybody goes, "Oh, look, he's making a break for it," and everyone looks at him, we like just beeline for the tree line, and get a vantage point, from there.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both do a stealth check. But as you're running through open space, there is commotion, and so it's possible to get away, but it's with disadvantage dice.
Okay. So roll a disadvantage dice.
Yeah.
Dang it, because I succeeded that first roll.
Okay, so that's gonna take 47 and 67. So it's gonna be 12 luck. I'll spend it, which puts me at 32.
Oh no. So I rolled my disadvantage dice. It got stuck on the side of my tray. So I rolled it again and now I have a 94.
Okay. So basically what happens is Frauke is dashing for it, and she gets to a couple of trees, but Charco just slips in a puddle, and the people obviously notice you, and three people just got to Goeke and tackled you to the ground.
Get off of me, you dirty sons of whores.
And other people from in between the stones are like, "There's another one!" And they're pointing towards Charco. And you're basically quickly surrounded by at least 6 or 7 men and women.
Yeah, I start lashing out just to cause a distraction so that they will not see Frauke. I start fighting and screaming and cussing and just enough
one
to
of them, and then take their pickaxe and then just start hacking away until they're dead. If you get lucky.
Just causing as much commotion as possible.
Okay. So two of them are actually attacking you. The first basically trips over the shovel he's holding. The second would hit you with his shovel. You're fighting back or dodging?
I think I'm going to fight back with my pocket knife.
Okay.
If I would have had time to pull that out, and
Yeah. Then do fighting brawl.
Oh,
you got a regular success.
98.
Okay. What does a shovel do? It's like a club. That should be
D8, right, for club?
D8 plus damage bonus.
Yeah, plus damage bonus.
If there is one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty brutal.
Hit somebody in the head with a club. It's pretty brutal.
Ooh.
I mean, Jarko deserves it.
That's 11 points of damage.
Oof. Okay, that puts me. I mean, one that is a major wound. That puts me down to 1 hit point.
Okay, do a Constitution check.
Yeah. Oh god.
You roll max. Did you always roll max damage on that?
That was max.
I did succeed my con
8 and
roll.
3.
65 out of 80.
Okay, so you take a pretty bad hit to your head, and you get all drowsy, but you're still not knocked out. But you're the shock hits you down to the ground, and you're tackled by several people.
Yeah.
So the Gurke and Jarko are both held by 3 or 4 people.
Can I at least try to kick somebody?
And they, you're kicking around.
How are you bound again?
My arm's bound.
Gurke is bound. His hands are bound.
I can't. I got a bad roll, so I can't manage to get anything.
Yeah, you wriggle.
I can hurt their ears with my calling them filthy names.
And Jarko's hands are bound behind his back as well. And then the widow is like, "Get them over to the stones, you, and just."
Fuck you and your fucking stuff.
Cornelison is starting the ritual. Just cut their arms or whatever and smear their blood on the stones. And they drag you around this circle. Like they use blood from your head wound, and with Gurke they cut your arm, and they smear blood over these stones. And as you watch, we'll jump to Rattle from Vipke. You climb up, and Vipke, give me a stealth roll. But being a little girl, you get a bonus die for that.
I may not require it. Okay, I rolled a 17, which is a hard success.
Okay, you basically get up to the top, and what you see are actually 3 people. One is the father of the new church. He has like a leather book in his hand, and over the din of the wind, you can hear him chanting something. He's standing there, and as you look into the direction he looks, you see this tear in the that he's looking directly at this tear in the sky, and behind it you can see swirling colors, and it looks disgusting, but at the same time it looks so nice and tempting. And you hear this wind and this piping, and then there is another man, a big burly guy who has like something that looks like a police truncheon or something in his hand, and he's standing next to your mother, who's sitting on the ground.
Do I roll something about climbing up too?
You're behind her, so
okay.
She's not over the edge. She's just like with a head over the edge.
Okay. Is there any furniture on this level?
No. It's just basically
so it's just flat floor.
It's just a ring of masonry, and surrounding the.
If I can see it, I will try to help. I can help coordinate something. I don't think I can see anything yet. Can I?
So this masonry, how large is it?
The wall is like, surely 2 feet thick, and the top of the tower is the same as the base, so it's like 30 by 30 feet. And all 3 don't seem to have noticed you.
Okay, so there is nothing in between me and them, and they are all
but they're basically looking the other way.
Okay, good. I will climb up quietly, and I will pop my head over to Red Elf and whisper, "Mama, the priest and a strong man are here. Be quiet." And then try and go off to a side so I'm not immediately where the ladder is. And then I will wait for Red Elf to also ascend.
Yeah, it's basically it's possible for you to climb a bit to the side and stand on some outcropping of the stone, so Red Elf can climb the ladder to the top.
I believe that is a better option. I will do that.
Okay, so Red Elf, if you want to get to the very top, you do a stealth, please.
A 3, that's success.
Okay. So you see the same thing.
Okay.
All three are looking the other direction.
So from this place, how close to the edges are they? Or are they just in the center of this room or of this area? They're
basically to the opposite side of the tower, at the edge.
If I tackled the strong guy, could I push him off the edge of the tower?
Could be possible.
Okay. Because we've got
the priest.
I'm going to charge chanting. The big man. You go for the priest.
Okay, sure. I, a 9-year-old girl, will tackle the priest. Got it.
No, it's more keep him busy because I'll hit him afterwards if I can knock him off the tower.
Okay, I can do that.
So, with surprise, could I just do basically a running quarterback tackle into this guy to push him off the side of the tower?
Yeah, you could try that. It's a fighting brawl.
Okay. That fell off the table. Let me roll that again. That's an 08.
Okay.
That's an extreme. I don't know if I don't think that's an impaling, but I think I tackled the guy off the, or at least I pushed him off.
Well, you don't have a knife, so there's no impaling.
That's no impaling, but actually it's
tackle.
You hit him perfectly, and where you go?
Sorry, I just.
And as your shoulder connects, he topples over and he screams, "No!" And he falls over, and he falls over the edge of the tower. And Cornelison and Cornelison and Swantje both suddenly look into your direction. And Swantje is going like, no, please, you have to help me. And we'll cut.
I'm gonna go to try to punch, I guess, the father in the face, but we'll cut there.
Vipka still has her action.
So I'm gonna scream at the priest to try and get his attention, like, "Hey, book boy," or
evil man. Evil man.
I want his eyes to look at me.
And the priest, although he turns towards you and his eyes widen in shock, he misses some words, but he's still chanting some strange words.
Right,
and he keeps on chanting. So let's get back down. Frauke, what are you doing? You see your husband and your former fiance being dragged into two different directions.
I think first...
You have all those people singing around you.
So I have a random idea. The first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm fumbling, in the pockets of, what I've got, and I don't really have much, but I have a dog whistle. Mm-hmm. So my hope is that I might might alert somebody, or at least alert Vibke maybe that flee to the woods if when things go to completely to hell. And maybe I'll distract some of them because maybe they can hear a dog whistle for some reason. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on
So
with
you
sound.
blow the dog whistle.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow my dog whistle from hidden in the woods.
You basically don't really hear anything.
Does it look like anybody responds to that?
Not really.
Damn. All right.
But what you see is as they drag Tiarco to the first of the boulders and they smear his blood on, and you see that this opening in the sky, it's like getting wider.
Oh, geez. Is there like a rock nearby?
Yeah, sure.
All right. And then can I identify the priest that they were shouting at? That's like the one. Is it one person who's doing the chanting, or are they all chanting?
The people that are standing between the rocks, they are like singing.
Okay.
And do a listen check.
Okay. I got a 1. Okay.
Okay.
Listen.
You actually
blew my good roll.
Identify what they are singing. That's a church hymn.
Okay, and so
that's one of those songs that are always sung on Easter.
Okay, so and I imagine the priest is leading this.
You can't really tell what the priest is singing or chanting up there because that's like a whole lot higher up in the air, and the wind has turned into a storm. Well, nearly a storm. It's really high wind, and you hear this howling of the wind and this damnable piping all the time.
I guess if I can see the priest, I'm going to try to chuck this rock at him as my next opportunity. But if I can't, then I'll
the priest is on the top of the tower.
I don't have an angle.
It's like 60 feet up, but don't you mean the tea lady?
I mean, both, but
down here.
The woman,
is she chanting as well, or
no? She's basically coordinating the guys who are singing, and she's she just sent the other guys to smear the blood on the stones.
Sure. So yeah, I guess the thing I think that I can help contribute is that I'm going to try to throw a rock at her and then duck back down into the bushes again and see how this goes. All right. Okay, I got a 9. So that is I will. Yeah, that is exactly an extreme. So I have 45.
Extreme. So that's max. I would say that's max damage.
Yeah.
Plus the usual damage. So.
Whatever rock is, D4. I don't know what that.
I would say
rock is D4 plus half damage bonus.
Okay, I don't. Okay. Actually, I do. I don't have a damage bonus. So yeah, so it'll just be a D4. So it's 4.
D4
yeah, 4
plus.
So 8
so
or
it's D4. D4 plus 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, so that's a 4. So 8.
8. Okay, so you throw the rock, it hits her squarely on the back of the head, and she just goes down. She just slumps to the ground. And do another stealth.
Yep.
Hide again.
As revenge for the goats.
And I got a 15. All right.
Okay, so everyone's like, they're doing some magic.
I'm gonna save what's left of my family if I can.
Grab a stick and try to grab the beat too close.
Gurka and Tiarco, you as well here as you're dragged in front of those singing people, you hear they're singing church hymns. These are Christian songs.
They're not acting like Christians, so well, kind of they are.
Yeah. I'm pretty, I think, okay. I mean, I took a big hit to the head. I think I probably start like singing with them if I recognize the hymn, just because I'm really confused about what's going on. So I think I'm in church. So I just kind of like
Okay.
very slurred, like start singing along with them, kind of swaying back and forth, you know.
And Gurka, you're still fighting, or you're?
I'm screaming like the devil every foul
Okay.
word that I can. Get your fucking hands off of me, you piece of shit, you know.
Yeah, they manhandle you to the next stone, and you see as your blood touches the stone, this rift in the sky gets even bigger. And by now you're nearly full circle around the through the stones. And we cut back to Red Elf and Vipke. You two, you just pushed the first the guy over the.
I'm gonna
side.
punch the priest in the face, like straight up.
Okay, do a fighting brawl.
All right.
In that case, he'll stop chanting.
That's a 27.
He's trying
That's a hard.
He's trying to dodge, but you get him. Do damage.
Roll damage for this because I'm trying to basically shut him up and I guess just break his teeth or something. I guess. Let's see. I have a cup hand or whatever. Normal brawling damage.
Yeah.
All right. Six for then. Have it. All right, so 3. 6.
Okay, so you hit him squarely in the jaw. He drops this book he was reciting or chanting from, and he stumbles back. You monsters! Get away from me!
What have I done besides hit you in the face?
And Vipke, Svantje is screaming as well. No, somebody gotta help us, please! They're here, they're here!
What happened? What's going on, Svantje? I thought you died.
Vipke, what are you doing?
Priest has been punched. I'm screaming at and running towards my own mother. It's like, Mama, you're alive!
Your mother has her hands bound in front of her, and as you run to her, she holds up her hands. Get away from me, you monster! And she looks at Red Elf. Red Elf, we are monsters. You have to stop this. You have to let the father do his work.
What they're doing is they're letting in something from something here. No.
Red Elf, we are the monsters. And you see this opening getting bigger.
Mama.
That's preposterous.
No. So this book
do a power roll.
Okay. Oh boy.
Ooh, that does not bode well.
Not a power roll. Do a sense. Both do a sense check.
Okay, I definitely failed then.
I got my dice moved. Might fix that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I failed that.
Okay, you both fail. Both
Barely,
do 1d6.
That's a 6? Oh dear.
I took 2.
Okay. Vipke, in that moment when your mother says, "We are the monsters," and she's like screaming, "Don't you remember what you did?" And you see these visions, you have this taste of blood in your mouth, and you see yourself biting into an arm.
Oh.
And you have this flute and you look at it and you think, it's so tempting. It is so tempting to play it.
I'm gonna play the flute. I'm gonna put it
I'm
to my
gonna grab the
lips.
flute.
I'm
I'm gonna
go.
grab the flute. Or like how much? I took 2 sands. So how much? What do I see?
It's like for you, it's like there is something in the back of your mind, but you can't really make it out. And you see that Vipke is lifting the flute to her mouth.
I'm gonna try. I guess I'm gonna grab it, and I might if I try to grab it. If I break in the process of taking it from her, that happens. I guess.
Okay, you do a fighting brawl, Vipke.
I'm trying not to hurt her. I'm just trying
you
to.
You do it. No, it's just to
maneuver.
try to grab it. Vipke, you try to dodge it away. You want?
Yeah, I want to get out of the way, so I can actually play the flute. So
34. I can spend 2 luck to make that hard if needed.
I would like. Can I luck a dodge roll, or is that just damage?
Yeah,
okay.
you can.
I would like to
push.
spend. That is. I'd like to spend 32 luck to make this into a 27, which is a hard success.
If I spend 2 luck to make it a hard success for me, does that counteract that?
Well,
you would have to make it an extreme.
With dodge, the dodge wins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
On a time,
you basically get your hands on the flute in the same moment Vipke puts the flute to her mouth. And Vipke, in that moment, you feel something in your mouth. You feel this like tendrils that touch the back of your throat. And you feel how it grabs the back of your throat. You try to pull it off, but it won't leave your mouth. And you breathe out, and all of you hear this music. And you hear it, and it's so familiar, and it's so beguiling. And all of you, everyone on the ground, like this, Göke and Tjarko are scuffling with their captures, and the people singing, and everybody stops. In that moment, the rift in the sky opens completely, and you see how this small being, small pinkish ape-like being comes through, and it has this snout that looks just like this flute. And it flies over to Vipke and sits on her shoulder, and all of you can remember the last night. You remember how you heard this calling, how you heard this piping. And you remember how you jumped into the water from the boat and you swam to the island. And all you could think of was get to this sound. There was this lighthouse, and the old man came out, and you just ripped him apart. And you remember running over the island, killing livestock, everything that came into your way. You remember moving to the church, and you found this tunnel, and you ripped the priest in his hidey hole apart. And while you remember this, you turn on your neighbors. You turn on your neighbors, and just as you remember the last night, no one can stop you. No one is able to hold back. Göke, you just snap the cord, the ropes binding you as Tjarko does. Frauke, you jump into a group of islanders. And then all is red. Yeah.
Actually, no. Oh wait, if this is the book, then I'll wait.
This is the and the next morning you awake. You know what you did. This time you didn't forget. The opening in the sky is closed. You are all on the ground, and there are bodies all around you, and you know how you killed all those people.
It was fun.
And
I
that
have
is
more people
I
to
want
focus on
ends.
now.
As a family.
So just as a thing, I want basically before the rage happened, I wanted to break the flute, but I guess I wanted to see if you would let me do
You
that.
couldn't.
Okay. I couldn't. Okay.
Game over.
In the moment the flute is played,
Got it. Yeah.
you are out. And
Okay,
that
fair.
is how it ends.
So before I guess we end the recording, I have a question.
Amazing.
I think we have to
we need an
clear what
explanation.
really happened.
Okay, yes.
I am
Yeah.
I will say,
so-
why were we not getting flashes that night then?
Okay,
Well,
let's start with the backstory of the whole thing.
Oh man.
Clean up all
Can I
this
make it?
blood.
Can I make a guess? Are we part of? Are we the descendants of like the enemy of the Guardian Order?
That
Let him tell us.
isn't back. So the whole story begins in the 12th century. At that point, a strange object, a flute, came to Europe, and it got into the possession of an abbey in Aberdeen, Scotland. And when the abbot examined it, because he had never seen something like this material alone, and he played a couple of notes on it, and this flute actually is a part of the singer from Dhol, a being from another dimension. And it immediately bonded with him, and it drove him and the monks insane. They went on a rampage. They committed atrocities, rape, murder. They killed and ate the sick in their care. And an order of Christian knights eventually ended those atrocities. They killed the monks, but the abbot, who was called the ghoul by that time, was able to escape with his ill-begotten offspring he had sired. So fast forward some 100 years to the year 1452. The order who had always protected this flute that had called this insanity upon the world was now decided to bring it to a new place of safekeeping. But the ship was shipwrecked near Pellworm, and a buccaneer was able to retrieve the riches on the ship, including the flute, and he played it. And there were atrocities on Pellworm. There was what the letter you found you couldn't really read was about, that the
Pirates.
merchants of Hamburg complained to the Lord of Hanover that the atrocities this pirate was doing are getting out of hand. They needed help, and so the Order of Knights got an idea where the flute is, and they sent knights to end the whole thing. They killed the buccaneers and retrieved the flute. But some of the children of the ghoul had heard the calling, and they had come unbeknownst to the knights to that island. And when the flute player was killed, they went into hiding, and their name had changed over the years from the Goulsons to the Gausons. There were a lot of empty farms on that island, so it was no problem to get themselves a farm, and that your characters are the descendants of the ghouls, so you're quite on spot. So let's see what dirty secrets we didn't discover through the game.
So
let's start
all
with
of us are meant to be
Vipka.
horrible people of a cursed bloodline.
Yeah. Let's start with Vipka. What was your nasty secret?
Mm-hmm.
So, Vipka's intelligence stat is 95.
Yeah.
She has transcended like earthly intelligence to the point that she just doesn't even comprehend that people don't think the way that she does. And so
like that
when
kid from
people
Monster?
talk differently to her, she thinks she's really stupid, but she's actually really, really smart.
I got that picture. Yeah.
So, yeah, she's constantly in the fantasy world saying all the weird non sequiturs. I had a handful of extras that I was going to slip in, but I killed everyone, so I couldn't.
I feel like Matilda.
Yeah, I could see in the dark, so just like complete night vision.
I
picked up on that.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, we need to build a sea, and you're like, no, we'll use less light. It's like, what?
Well, it was when Pascal was saying the room is completely black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but Vipka just described everything that was in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like,
for her, it was no problem.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't even
is it not
comprehend
connected
that you
to any
needed
like elder thing? Is it just an entity?
It's just an entity.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, the way that Vipka would like intimidate people by staring at them is just something she's very good at, apparently. Yeah, so that is everything, I think. My secret place was at the back of the farmhouse where I would practice surgery on local cats. So I would drown them in the water barrel and then take them up, cut them up, and then they would be preserved by the smoke of the fireplace because I was studying to be a doctor. It's very important scientific work.
Yeah.
Was your secret place in this?
It was like under the roof. It was under the roof of the farmhouse.
Like in
So she just climbed.
Like
So
it's
it was
a
a
real
real
thing
spot.
that I
Okay.
just climbed into, yeah.
I
It was
kept
like
having
a
the feeling
crawl
that you were
space.
stepping in and out of a dimension or
Oh,
something.
no,
I thought it was
That'd be so cool,
I thought
but
it was a crawl. I thought it was like a dugout crawl space under the house.
No, yeah, I like that it's like the attic because like nobody else can fit up there. So
Yeah.
So, and Red Elf, what is your secret?
I think the other one has a
You
couple.
hinted at one of your secrets, or is it a couple?
All right, so he has a weird laundry list of things. So first thing, when he was in the Navy, he got a phobia of being in tight spaces. It ended up causing the U-boat he was on to be exploded so he could leave, and then became basically a hero by having the dinghy out ready for people to come to shore, basically come to surface, and him to get them that didn't die from the explosion.
is that tied into your
Nice.
like dying thing or
No,
okay?
it's just that's the start of his intro where it's like, oh, I guess he's supposed to be a shitty person.
Like
It's
you're
wait.
you're
It
actually
just-
just naturally dying.
That's
Yeah.
like at the end because it's like I'm also supposed to have gonorrhea or something. Like it's a mess, and it's like I'm also supposed to like Hellrick's also supposed. I don't know if it was a thing for the time or it's a weird thing. I didn't get it, but Red Elf's supposed to be into Swanja and wants to take her away, and then like he sees Wipka as his darling, and Hellrick's not really a competition. He can find someone else.
He is Vipka's father.
That's not in the.
Red Elf is?
Red Elf is Vipka's father.
That's not my information.
Did I? Okay,
Thought
I have
that.
to check
I thought
that.
that.
That's basically.
I was
you played
thinking
it.
that.
It might
It's
even
not-
not.
I mean, I didn't get that. I
mean,
just thought it's because he loved Swanja enough where he just saw Wipka as.
Yeah, I should. I have to
That
check
wasn't in
this.
there.
Sense, though.
That would have
might have
been
been
nice to know.
But yeah,
That would have been
Oh,
nice
sorry.
to know.
If that's not in there, that's my fault.
Because
Yeah,
it seemed obvious to me that Hilrick blew the flute and it blew his eardrums out.
Yeah.
And so,
So,
I was thinking,
let's go-
well, then how could he be Vipka's father if he's just so that makes sense.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then let's.
it doesn't say that. It only says I'll copy it over the chat.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, so you
I'm sorry,
had a pact with Hillary.
I'm sorry
and you
if
were
it wasn't
dying,
clear.
and you wanted to take away Swanja, right? That was your stuff.
Yeah, his own
Yeah,
sister.
It was that, and it was also like I was going to die in 6 months, so it's like my
Yeah.
fault and the rest of it.
So that's basically two different things in your background. Okay, after check that, then I.
Well, it's like
did it-
so basically, it's like I was actually playing it differently than I guess it's
Oh, but it worked. It worked.
I mean, I
out
didn't
well,
know.
so
I
no
still
biggie.
cared about her because it's like in my mind, She's basically my daughter because I I'm in love with the person that's her mother.
So then we have Charco. But Charco basically told his secret anyhow.
We got most of mine.
At least one had the really dirty part of his secret.
Just deeply in love with Frauke and got mad jealous, like just drove me insane. So I, shot my own brother. I tried to shoot you in the head, but hit your knee. So if I was really a bad shot,
you were always a bad shot.
Yeah, I know. I think you couldn't kill your brother.
It didn't really work out for him that well because this marriage isn't that.
It's not a great marriage. I sleep on the floor, but I'm
really?
happy. I'm happy. But yeah,
wait, what?
I feel like she loves me, even though she makes me sleep alone on the floor. Even on my wedding night, I slept on the floor. But nevertheless, I know she loves me.
So that's basically 3 good examples of the nice kind of people this family has produced over the years, and that might be the reason why they don't really never got along with the neighbors, or maybe the other way around.
I will say the one thing is I never understood. I never got. So I was wondering because Frauke seemed like she's maybe secretly awful. I just didn't know what the fuck was her deal because we didn't really went into that much.
Oh, well, let's find out.
I was trying to Frauke the whole time because she was mean to me in my backstory.
What was Frauke's?
I have a couple things, and first of all, I'm sad that I didn't get to do a thing. I have had a thing in the back of my head planned because I was hoping that you would make us roll a sanity for something that we like, something that was visual, like something we like one of the handouts, because then I would have been able to say, "Joke's on you, tough guy. I can't read." That was a big thing. I don't know how to read. Like I'm the accountant of the family, and I'm very good with numbers. But other than numbers, I can't read German. Like I can't read anything other than numbers.
Why would you need to? All you have to do is read the.
I count sheep. I count dogs. I do the money,
like,
the handling.
You can read the clock on the stove in the kitchen, and then
so that was one of the things. So I mean,
in a farm life, that doesn't really matter.
And then So Hilrich would read to me because actually before this, Frauke was actually secretly, sleeping with Hilrich.
God damn it!
And Hilrich was not very much into Swanja, so and it's funny because I actually Frauke respects Redoff the most out of like anybody in the family, which I thought was really funny. So it's like, all right, try to protect Redoff and Wibke because they're the most like innocent ones. And I love, this is so crazy. So there was all that, and so I found some of those letters, and I thought they were the will because I can't read. Gave them to Hilrich. He's like, what the fuck, Silver? And then
God. Oh.
The worst part is are you ready? No. Do you know that bottle you found, Jarko?
Yeah.
That was the poison that I gave to the mother. Because I was like, God damn it, you old crazy lady, you're not dying fast enough. It's
how close I got to put my pinky in there, and
so we just never got the chance. There was never a private moment.
That wouldn't have been that bad because she gave it to her like over weeks and always in slow dosages.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's basically Frauke, and the last one is Göke. So to explain what happened after Frauke gave the papers to Hilrich couldn't make heads or tails of this. He understood this is no will, but he saw this map, and that looked like a treasure map to him. But he didn't know what building this might be, so he went to the one person he trusted most, and that was Göke. And Göke immediately knew, okay, that's the old church, and there Göke's secret comes in. But
we made a pact that we would share it equally, and then I didn't trust him, and then I sneaked up behind him and saw him doing it.
Basically, they agreed to wait for till after the funeral, and the night before, Göke snuck to the church. He saw a light from the church. He came in and he saw Hilrich in that hole in the ground, and he had this sack with where he put the silver in. So he came from behind, took the shovel. Hirik had leaned next to the confessional and just struck him, and he thought he was dead. And covered the hole up, brought the silver to the farm. And next morning, he just told the story that Hirik wanted to check with something with your day laborer, and and then he didn't make the boat. So what really happened then was sometime in the late evening, Hirik woke up again. He wasn't dead, he was just unconscious. And he was searching around in the dark, and all he had was like those papers he had in his coat, and he rolled them up like a makeshift torch, lit it on fire so he could see. And he tried to get out of that hole, but with the boards of the confessional on top of it, he could, and with his injuries, he wasn't able to get out of the hole. He couldn't lift the stone slab. And at some point, there was a silver, and there was this flute in the hole, which Göke didn't see because Hirik had fallen on it. And he was like lightheaded because of his injury and the fumes from the burning paper and everything. And he put it to his lips. And the same thing that happened to Vipke happened. It just immediately bonded to the back of his throat. He tried to pull it out, but he couldn't, and he played it. And that was the call to the singer from Dhol. And you guys that caused this storm, the people had those nightmares, animals went crazy. And the only one on the whole island who was unaffected was the day laborer, because he was deaf. He couldn't hear.
Wow.
Okay.
He's like, I'm out of here. This is crazy shit.
And so what he saw in his usually drunken head was like the sheeps doing crazy stuff. The sheeps were...
everything attacked each other.
Yeah, well, the animals did. The people just had bad dreams.
Okay.
In the beginning.
So why was everyone?
If this had kept on, the people would go insane as well. And as he couldn't pull the flute from his head, he tried to stick his fingers into his ears, and he drove them right into his brain and killed himself. And because of him. No, it's impossible. But
yeah, like why the fuck
sounds really good.
It just sounds disgusting.
Possible if you're insane.
You would just break your eardrums.
Yeah.
My
and when he died, the flute released him because he couldn't draw on his life source again. And that is basically when all of you went back to your normal state, but you were still drowsy and confused, and went back over the island and went back to the ship, and that's where you woke up on the next morning.
Wow. And yeah, that was great.
I have some questions, but you go ahead, Tom.
But
did we actually bury Grandma?
You buried your grandma. That was before. That was after the.
It was after.
She died. She's dead.
Yeah.
And then what your grandma had over the last years of her life, she had suspicions, and she found out a bunch, quite some stuff, and but she was never able to act on it, or was afraid to act on it, because she realized that the family of her husband were monsters. And when she wanted us to
learn how to play the flute, right?
Summon the harpy.
And when she was close to dying, she wrote this letter to Hilrik, because he was the only one on the farm she knew who wasn't a descendant of this ghoul. And what you didn't ask about was her signature, because her name was, as far as you knew, was Imke Gausen, but her maiden name was Imke Winkler. And she signed with her maiden name.
Wow.
Wait, who?
I did notice that, and then I forgot about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it whenever I was rewatching to do the recap.
Wait, well, I lost. Like, I am for some reason not going to get notes. I did a bunch of.
Why don't we go ahead and finish it up, and then we'll talk. We'll keep.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
just wanted to, I think it was great that
because I have some feedback to give.
So. Yeah, just last thing. Yeah, I thought it was great that that like, you know, it was like, well, after like now that Hilric's dead, I feel like plus given the way things played out, like Jargo really like showed himself. And so like Frauke originally thought of him as like kind of a loyal dog, but I think actually after this, there's sort of like a chance for them in a very macabre sense of like, oh well, I guess we all eat people, so maybe we'll just give this a chance.
Do we eat them or do we just rip them apart?
Who knows? But it's,
there was definitely a memory of me eating someone.
We all have a happy few years until eventually the mob kills us or we go fully insane.
I mean, I'm unless this weird thing is giving us extra
Bravo.
inhuman powers, I'm probably dying. So
Yeah.
Great job, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Pascal.
Well done.
Our players included Riley Kruger, John Dos Passos, Max Duhl, Kent Blue, and myself with Pascal Breitenfeld as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games so you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.